All right, good evening, everyone. I'm calling this meeting to order. It's a special meeting of the Strategic Planning Committee. We're beginning at 6:01 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, everyone. All members of the Strategic Planning Committee are present. Dee Dee Martin, Jonathan Form-Kellen, Donald Wales. Donald Wales is here via phone. You have something to read first. All right. Please note that this meeting is being conducted utilizing electronic equipment in compliance with State Law Public Act 21-2 as such. This meeting is being recorded and will be available to the public in compliance with state law. If you are attending remotely, please remember to mute your microphone unless you are speaking. Anyone participating remotely should state their name and title, if applicable, at the outset of each occasion that such person is speaking. All votes taken which any member of this body are participating remotely shall be taken by roll call vote unless the vote is unanimous. Chat features will not be utilized nor considered during this meeting. All right. Good evening, everyone. Our first item of business is a review of proposed capital projects. That's why we're here this evening. I believe Mr. Holdsworth made this wonderful schedule for us tonight. Thank you very much. And the first item on the schedule is the Monroe Fire Department. Good evening. The two of you? Anybody else? All fire department. Okay. Well, we're going to start with Monroe. From my review of the proposed capital project, the Monroe Fire Department has a quick attack mini pumper as well as the SCBA replacement, potential offset for a grant. I guess my first question is, to begin, is the SCBA replacement is protective equipment for our volunteers. Is that right?
That's correct. Okay. So very similar to the prior two projects, the other two fire departments that happened over the last 2 years. Just timing on the age of each piece of equipment might come up in different years. Purchased in 2013. So the 10-year mark is when the Nfpa first. So given by that 10-year mark, have them in capital, they've been submitted.
So typically they'll be done every 10 or so years for this type of replacement.
Yeah, NIOSH and MSPA say the recommended service life. Doesn't mean that the 10-year mark stops working. It means that the 10-year mark, the ability to service, repair, and replace becomes significant.
And I say it's page 21 in the package.
Edie or Donald, do you have any questions about this specific item?
No, I don't. That was clear.
So the PCR form has the final updated number on it, which is 380. We were pricing, as I'm sure everyone in the room is aware, supply chain constraints over the last 6 months have had an impact on everybody, including public safety. So we are routinely getting updated pricing and during all current pricing. So our form, I just updated it a couple days ago. I think that's the most current.
I would recommend, if we're going to, assuming we're, certainly I would agree we keep this on a list. We should probably make it 81 plus. Ron, what did you want to have for?
All right, so it's 381 instead of 356 now.
Okay, so 81.
created one. Okay.
And, you are still pursuing a FEMA grant for this?
Correct, yeah, we
So
submitted
there's a possibility
yeah,
you may not have to bond for all.
there's a possibility up to 95% of the cost to be covered through a FEMA grant that was submitted in January.
I know.
I suspect by September, Jeff, when the outcomes are, or when we hear outcomes.
Have we had luck with that in the past?
For SCBA specifically,
Yeah.
Has the town had luck in ASG in the past? Yeah, we've acquired multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment, through the firefighting grant program.
Challenge is you never know what FEMA's gonna.
SCBA is a high priority item for FEMA, but in the universe of the fire service,
Yeah.
I mean, go to districts and areas in less affluent areas of the country where they're trying to replace something that might be 20 or 25 years old. So it's all a ranking of priority and need. So while we do fit our criteria for a high priority replacement, it is ranked across thousands of applications. So.
Chris, 2013 was the last replacement. Was there a 10-year span prior to that?
They were probably older than 10 years when we replaced them in 2013. I don't have a great remembrance of what year the prior packs were before that. It was two different brands at that point in time. 2013 we moved for interoperability in the town. We went to the manufacturer currently is, which their name is Scott, 3M owns them. Facing MSA, which were probably a mix of items from the early 2000s. I wouldn't be surprised if there was late 90s.
The last time that we discussed this, it was long overdue. More than 10 years.
100%. The town has done, I think, great things over the last decade with supporting public safety, bringing us really up to where we need to be, and then building a plan to make sure we meet, recommended replacement cycles by the standard setters. And while Nfpa is not law or regulation, it is the standards that we follow, and all of the Nfpa compliance. So generally speaking, Nfpa says you should be within the current or one cycle back on their standards. Standards go about every 5 years. Our current packs, while purchased in 2013, are on the 2007 Nfpa standard. Bring us up to the 2018 or 19, that year delay, but 2018 or 19 standard, which changes actually the air pack pretty significantly from what we currently have. So as an example, the air pack I wear in Monroe, it has a bottle that has approximately 30 minutes of air in it. If I was breathing, doing no activity. Its low air alarm will go off at 25%, or when I have approximately 7.5 minutes. The new standard says, based on studies that NIOSH and Nfpa have done for firefighter safety and the ability to exit the environment, that sets it now at 33%, meaning the alarms are going off sooner to get you out of the building quicker. So the new air packs that Stephanie Stevenson have recently acquired are obviously at that standard. We're not doing this just to be like them. We're doing it to get to that drives firefighter safety and bring us up to the latest technology that these offer. The interesting thing that 3M came out with, and Stephanie is this new air pack that they sell. It's lifetime maintenance on it. So you'll see in the PCR form we have a $2,000 cost reduction, because right now we're paying probably about 10 to a dozen times a year for pack repair. That's anywhere from $180 to $250 a pack. Under the new air packs, it is lifetime repair and replacement on those air packs. You only service it for 10 years, but everything's covered.
I would just ask that everyone keep your voice up, since we do have one member.
I'm usually very loud.
Don't scream, but sometimes the technology doesn't cooperate. Okay. All right. Any other? Do you need anything else? And Donalyn said she didn't need anything else either. All right. So the other item was the Quick Attack Mini Pump. Why don't we hear a little bit more about that?
You can keep going. All right.
Page 19.
So, we've done a lot of evaluation of our apparatus profile over time, and over the last, since 2009, have been on a track of reducing apparatus quantity in town, and also looking to get the right apparatus platform and profile to service the town. So over the last 2 to 3 years, we've been exploring the need for a mini pumper, which is a smaller piece of apparatus, generally built on a commercial truck chassis. So think about it, the easiest way I can give it to you is a four-door pickup truck with kind of a small fire truck attached to the back is the best way I can describe it to you. About the size of an ambulance, so much smaller than your full-size apparatus. Able to do things that we see as beneficial to the town, and also the ability to continue providing the volunteer service that we do. Number one, it's a smaller piece of apparatus. It costs less, has lower maintenance and repair, likely repair type capabilities that we can put on the road for routine calls. It means I'm putting larger, more expensive, more prone to accident type apparatus on the road less. So there's a risk profile there that gets reduced by using smaller apparatus. Continuing is we currently run a duty crew program, which is a staff station program from 7 to 10, 3 nights a week. The majority of that staffing is by individuals that are under the age of 21, which is our minimum age requirement to drive these large apparatus. And you also need what's called a endorsement on your license to drive. Essentially a commercial driver's license that's not a commercial driver's license, fire apparatus endorsement, but large fire apparatus are commercial vehicles. They have air brakes, and you need to know, essentially take a CDL test to drive them. This vehicle has that type. Have younger members, 18 and over, driving it. So you cover this gap of 18 to 21-year-olds that can drive this apparatus, where the vast majority of our most frequent responders fit in that bucket, and those that staff the stations. We're also beginning to launch an overnight program at the firehouse in Monroe that's going to help expand our service profile and increase response times at overnight calls. The majority of that program is going to be staffed by college students, either home for the summer who are current members, or students who may attend universities like UNH or Sacred Heart. Many other towns around us participate in this program, and we're going to bring it here to Monroe. And this piece of apparatus is going to be vital to ensure that those individuals can respond and achieve that faster response time versus, say, they're all under the age of 21, waiting for a potential driver to transit to the firehouse, which could be anywhere from 3 to 7 minutes, depending on. So by bringing this piece of apparatus in-house and acquiring it, it's going to enable us to put it on the road to more routine calls, and also have our duty crew program and overnight response program utilize the piece of apparatus to get better response time. That's a overall benefit.
What services can't this apparatus do that the normal fire truck?
It's basically like a quick attack pump, so it's got a pump on it, it's got hose.
Okay.
So they can go to work, like some of the trucks have ladders on it, it has a lot of the hand tools. The routine calls, like car accidents that we go to often, it has all the materials that we need for that, to take care of fluid spills, toolbox, so it's big, it's like a utility body, part. So it carries a lot of items, and like Chris was saying, if we're gonna have a staff crew, that's the whole point, is to get out the door right away. So if I have 4 guys sleeping upstairs, they can't drive a big truck and have to wait 6 hours to show up. Ideal, so our response time will.
It's got the same size pump on it that a normal size fire truck has. So if that fire truck, say you call 911 at night and your house is on fire, God forbid, if that truck showed up, there'll be a hose line stretched off of it, water in that hose, and putting it on the fire. It carries less water than a big truck,
Right.
but the goal there is you'll have the other fire truck coming behind it, or if there's a fire hydrant close by, you obviously have sustained water. So it can handle, from a service perspective, a vast majority of incidents that we're dispatched to as a primary piece. However, it is still, in the most ideal case, that if there's a qualified driver for a regular fire truck, I'll call it, we would bring that, if it was a fire incident where there was active fire. We want to have a truck that has 750 gallons of water on it, things like that. But for an automatic fire alarm, motor vehicle accident, carbon monoxide incident, this is a vehicle that can very easily handle those types of incidents, which, make up, greater than 50% of our.
They're increasingly common too, so both the Long Hill and the Trumbull Center fire departments that surround us both have mini pumpers. They run out, they have those duty crew programs. Those are oftentimes their first area to have those.
Any health and safety issues by not having this are in service?
It doesn't impact the health of a firefighter or the safety of a firefighter.
I mean more responding to calls, like have we been put at a disadvantage for not having this apparatus?
Our response time, getting fires.
Right, but has there been a problem in the past without this machine?
Right there, they can be dropped. Time the call was up. Increase that call response time by 3 minutes. 4 minutes, that's.
I think it's hard to answer the question, has anyone's health or safety been adversely affected by a response time, because empirical data that would, don't know what the opposite effect would be if the response was faster.
No, just with this apparatus, meaning that you couldn't respond to a call because the other vehicles were
we service
too
all
large.
our incidents. It hasn't been a case where we have there are cases where we have incidents where the driver has qualified as a large apparatus, and we may only respond with our utility truck, which is just with baskets on it, no water or anything like that. There's certainly cases of that. However, have we not been able to service a call because of not having this apparatus? I think no.
What would you say the population of the volunteers are, meaning age? Because it's 21, use the full service, I guess.
Our most active firefighters right now, probably almost.
Are younger than 21?
The fire service.
Especially the volunteer service.
High school students,
college kids.
Yeah.
Very hard to keep married, wife and kids, jobs. It's hard to keep people in. To go crazy perspective, you're probably kind of Bill, our fire marshal being active, you're probably looking at the 3 oldest members that are active firefighters in Monroe Fire Department.
Nice to hear that young people are getting in.
Well, it's great. Now our point is to retain.
So how does this, how would this purchase fit in within the vehicle replacement program? Have the different fire departments work together, put together vehicle replacement programs? Is there kind of like a long look at this?
I won't speak about kind of the there is a company that put together apparatus replacement plan. From a Monroe Fire perspective, like I said, we've significantly reduced our apparatus profile over the last since 2009 when we started the apparatus kind of replacement program. So while this would, I would say, increase the unit by 1 for the Monroe Fire Department, there is, I think, future consideration of we have 2 2009 apparatus up there that we purchased, and apparatus plan tonight. We'll hear about the plans related to those, but I do think the purchase of this, will then be a consideration of the replacement cycle of one of those, and whether we replace it with a similar piece or a different type of piece. So, right now we run what's called a squad, which essentially is the combination of an engine, which is kind of water and hoses, and a rescue, which is tools to cut people out of cars, to put it simply. That's a single piece of apparatus. That was a consolidation in 2009. We run an engine tanker out of this station, which is water and hose, but a lot more water. So we brought the mini pumper in, you know, part of our consideration when, I really think we start looking at the engine tanker replacement, which I don't wanna quote, I don't have it in front of me, I think it's like, 28 somewhere. You know, there may be consideration around, does that replacement really need a pump on it, or could it just be a commercial tanker? So that's, you know, that's quite a few years away, but I think the purchase of this, if it were to happen, impacts the decisioning around future apparatus replacement.
Right, but my real question is, has there been a plan put together for replacement throughout the three departments?
Yes.
There's been a plan in place
Okay.
since prior to 2009, I think we started the first plan. An ongoing rolling plan that the chiefs have updated year over year that's been presented. I mean, you guys probably have it.
An older version,
I
I said earlier, I think it probably would be helpful to dust that off and make sure we have the most refreshed.
So you guys have a version from 2021 submitted in the FY '22 budget cycle.
Correct.
Nothing happened, so the easiest sense of it, think of everything goes plus 1 year. But the chiefs, I saw active work on it even today,
Yeah.
have been working it, but the FY '22 plan that was submitted last year
Nothing.
is not significantly different than what you'll see when you get the updated one, because most of it just went plus 1 year.
I mean, what I would say is, tonight's not the end-all, be-all for bonding.
Correct.
So, I think the committee would really value bringing in the fire service and talking about vehicle replacements, as we move forward with the capital plan for next year.
I think, you know, our guys have worked strongly on it over the years. It's not very hard for us to up whatever needs to be. As Chris said, it's pretty much a plus 1 on the year over year from last year. There may be other departments that they have, and we just need to,
Okay.
I think, from our standpoint, I would say, I don't really know, I don't know where the town wants to go with the place. Over a year, fleet replacement, last 2 cycles. That plan, there's a model drawn up. Hey, this needs to be, if you're going to do another truck this year, another truck this year. Or are we fleet replacing where we're maybe saving in full, as we have done the previous 2 times? So, kind of contradicts how we're writing this plan.
I think it's where the pain's been, right? Because the last 2 times we did both, the feedback coming out of First Selectman's Office, Town Council, Board of Finance have always been, we don't want to do both. We would like to do, a replacement cycle, and we propose it. Frankly, it never happens, and we end up in this both situation.
Well, there was no
Right, there was nothing.
bonding during COVID.
Right.
No, we
And
understand.
as I've said in the past, I've said we need SBC to dig into and decide as a town what we, because there are pros and cons to both approaches. I think the biggest challenge we have right now is, given that most of the fleet is relatively new, how do you start going into a replacement cycle when everything you got is
You start
pretty
replacing,
damn new, right?
start replacing stuff before
Start
it
replacing
needs
stuff
to
before
be
you need to,
replaced.
and.
And you get higher replacement cost, higher resale value then too.
So, but if I think I know where you're going in terms of doing the vehicle discussion, as maybe even a separate meeting, I think that's,
Yeah.
I would welcome that, because I think it's a really good conversation to have,
Have in the past sat down and gone,
oh, yeah, it's been a long time, I think that was.
yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely been a couple. Not every single one of them, so we have in a couple of years. During COVID, we lost years of
Right.
everybody being able to meet, discuss these things, as much as we haven't been, those things,
Right.
we have been.
I think that would be the best going forward, is have another meeting for vehicle replacement. The only thing, I did have one more, specific question. With, Jockey Hollow, going to a full-time, EMS facility, when we're buying new vehicles, where are we putting this one?
So, while Jockey Hollow is kind of converting to a full-time EMS
Yeah,
facility, it
yeah.
will still house 1 fire truck until the station up here goes through renovation to hold it.
Right, but we're
and there's.
also adding a,
The mini
Right.
pumper has capacity up there. So it's much easier to fit a pickup truck, I'll call it, than a large piece of
all right.
power truck. Yeah.
So there wouldn't be any problem picking.
There'd be no problem with room
No,
or
it's
capacity,
just a
so.
quick pass and go through, it would have a spot right now, we
But no, in regards to that, Elfin Road, Station 1, I mean, that, we're still in this kind of, we were delayed in the preliminary facility study was done. We're, after the last SBC meeting, we've kicked that preliminary design, cost estimate, all that initial stuff is ongoing. So at this point, we carried over the Phase 1 final design to get you enough to go out to bid, carry that in there, but obviously everything.
So to say, that's in the public works section, but it's not
Yeah.
far out on there.
Yeah, no, I did see that.
So,
Okay.
all right, and then,
yeah, I was gonna let our Monroe department go. Donaldin, did you have anything else?
I was just gonna add.
No, I didn't, Jonathan.
Go ahead, Donaldin. Donaldin?
No, I had nothing else, thanks.
Go ahead.
I was gonna add, Chris, there's to acknowledge, because like we rationalizing the size of our about this truck, because it has another truck. It's expensive than a full-size truck, so you're looking at, $1,000 versus $3,500. But I think it fits into right now and what we need. Touched on it a little bit. I think your point was, we have this tanker that we talked about. What it could mean is, as a full engine with a cab on it, that is something that we might be able to go to, like, on it, just have water, maybe just have two. Would be. I think about it too, because again, where are we at? It's just more things for us to service, check all the equipment on. So like we. When I first came out, large trucks, we have 3 now. So that a piece, but it's
Like the cost per incident over like a 10-year time period for a large piece of apparatus is like $100 let's call it, based on my data. The cost per incident for this piece of equipment over 10 years is probably around $100. So when you start thinking like unit economics, unit metrics, like it's like a cost-effective, cost-efficient piece.
for 750,
So they could vary. Like for example, our pumper has 750 gallons. We also have one with 1,500 gallons, and I think Stephanie might even have one with 2,000 gallons. So they can all handle different amounts of water. The mini pumper will usually have
mini is what?
300 to 400 gallons. About half of what we.
basically you're cutting the truck in half. You're half water, half the hose you're able to carry. What we're able to carry for hose is probably enough to get down our driveway if we need to.
Jonathan?
Instrumental piece to our.
Go ahead, Donaldin, just hold on 1 second.
Piece to renovation happening and ladder truck moving up and being able to, as Kevin said, our engine flawless and everything falls into place, that will most likely add truck and cost. Don't mark my words, because God knows when the price and the inflation, you're talking half the price of what. Anywhere in the $800,000.
Yes, Donaldin?
2 questions. So does this pumper have the ability that it would be able to on to calls only and not have to pull out the big fire trucks? And if so, what's the kind of calls that it would?
We haven't strategically looked at how our running orders would change, right? But we know they would change. But for example, if a automatic fire alarm came in at 3 in the morning and we we had our overnight crew there, this unit would respond to it and likely can handle the call with just that piece of apparatus. Similarly, if a motor vehicle accident came in that was just a fluid spill, you know, you see these accidents all over Route 111, right? You know, we're going to make the choice that we're not going to clog up the road with a 35-foot, you know, large piece of apparatus. I can bring that smaller piece of apparatus and handle the oil spill on the road. So there will be strategic shifts in our response where we will make a decision that that's the first out piece, whether you have the driver of age or not. And then strategically, when there's not a driver of age, that will be de facto the first out piece to any incident if you don't have someone that can drive the large piece of apparatus.
So I understand the part of, you know, it's a smaller vehicle and it can negotiate through a lot quicker, faster, you know, to wander around the scene to kind of try to patient down. But maybe it cut off on me, but what's the difference in that response time that the traditional size fire truck?
So it's not about the time from when the truck leaves the firehouse to when it gets on the scene, because all of our drivers have to drive with due regard and follow the law, right? So this truck won't be driving faster or negotiating turns faster to get there faster. The response time discussion that we had relates to our duty crew program, which operates generally from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., and then our overnight program that's starting is generally made up of members who are between the age of 16 and 21 years old, so they're usually not qualified to drive the large apparatus. So I might have 6 members at the firehouse.
Not allowed under our insurance to drive the apparatus.
I may have a crew of 6 firefighters at the firehouse at 7 o'clock at night, and your house catches on fire and you call 911. So maybe they could leave within 45 seconds if they had this piece of apparatus. But if they had to wait for a driver to get there, they may have to sit there and wait for 4 minutes for the driver to come from their house, to respond to the firehouse, to get on the truck and go. So the argument around response time is by having a piece of apparatus that the younger members could drive, going to allow them to get their turnout time faster, which is the time from dispatch to the time from response, and shorten that time, which reduces your overall response time.
It actually would be a feature for, got a lot of houses with long driveways, so we can driveways oftentimes. There's the area across the street from the school. When we go there, we actually take engine in a pickup truck. We leave the engine in the school parking lot. We put the guys in a pickup truck, and we send them up dirt trails on Fawn Hill and those type of roads. Actually get in with all the right equipment. We're only keeping those trucks out on the road in case it's a emergency. We need absolutely everything down. That'll actually help us on some.
And this pumper would be used across all the fire departments, right? So it may reside at one spot, but it can be used across all the departments when calls come in.
Maybe it depends on the nature of the call. So certain calls in town are only handled if it's a routine call. They're handled by the only. Anything of significance is going to have all 3 companies respond.
I guess that was my question. So I'm saying if this is, let's say I see it's on the budget line for the Monroe Fire Department and wherever that resides, this would be something that could be used. All comes in from the Stevenson Fire Department or for the Stepney Fire Department.
Absolutely.
This would be there for that purpose as well, right? Yeah, it would be across the organization.
For this Monroe, if there was a motor vehicle accident on Route 25 with fluid spill, that's what we consider a routine call. Only one fire department's dispatched. Monroe would not go to that because we're not dispatched. It would be handled by Stepney. However, if there was a fire on Woosop Trail in Stevenson, this apparatus would likely go, and it would be a great piece of apparatus that could likely get into that small trail area and effectively fight the incident with our other fire departments. So, yes is the answer to your question, but with explanation.
8 driveways. Or because stuff like this, we've already made plans that if something like that happens, you're going to have a pickup truck and drag the hose up there. This would work out perfect for us. That truck would go up the driveway, the bigger trucks supply water to them. That's just 9 driveways.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. What I'll say is I think there's an appetite on the subcommittee to meet on vehicle replacement plan. And, I think it makes a lot of sense. And all right, well, thank you very much. All right, who's next? Stevenson. Oh,
We're talking trucks,
so you're probably going to hear me say the same thing.
that's fine, glad to meet you. But very simply,
Yeah.
we've been looking at our rescue, we've been delayed the last 3 years. It's almost 20 years old. It was a demo when we bought it, it was time for a refurb. Delaying it out of the budget, not the town delaying it out of the budget, but we have, and we've had it evaluated. We're looking to refurb the rescue of $375,000. We want to take our 2009 engine, put that into an engine rescue from the fleet, and we rescue. That price, we're looking at our fleet by one, by the same coverage we have for the town. Very good value now. That is tonight or at a subcommittee meeting?
I did have unfortunately unrelated, I think we will have the vehicle replacement, meeting. We'll bring everybody in. I think that's probably the best way to do it, kind of look at the whole town-wide approach to do it. But I did have a question. I did see that there's a Station 2 study.
Study, okay. Similar to what they've talked about having an overnight crew.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that will be evaluating that station. Last year, we've lost 4 young members. All had fire one. We put them through a number of reasons they couldn't. So, if we had the ability, we probably have 4 people there right now for that. Also, the fact that the fire study is the potential. We haven't really looked at that. We can't evaluate these things without a study to look at it.
Dee Dee, or, Ken?
I just don't necessarily need this now, and I'm sure this is not something you can answer. That subsequent meeting we would have on vehicles, helpful from an overall perspective to see the sale value of. Go on eBay right now.
We signed both the rescue and engine 302 to make sure what we're doing makes sense, you know.
Yep.
We sent them to Gowans and Knight, Connecticut, and they looked at it. And part of their looking at it, today's number would be $65,000. They waiting for the rescue. It's
not a direct application. It's from a fund perspective, the town, you know,
we took that into consideration.
This is the additional.
That includes, that's where you take them. They would
All right.
paid in, not really.
They'd also, that number I don't know, but for the body will be changed on something. Rated for that.
So you already incorporated that.
Yep.
Savings. Okay. Damn, I thought I just found $55,000.
I just had dollar signs.
Dee Dee, what do you have
I'm good, I think,
You're good?
I think we wait,
for the meeting?
yeah,
Okay.
so we go through.
You don't have any questions about the study either? Yeah, they want to do the study for the Steve. Okay. Donaldin, anything?
I do, actually. The station, this number 2 study, I remember, was it last year, and Ken, and maybe the fire department, didn't we have a plan that did a fire department study?
That was more of a kind of operational review of kind of all 3 fire services, their governance, their running orders, response areas, a little bit into vehicles, not to be, it did look on a macro level in terms of stations, so it did recommend the changes that we're making at Jockey Hollow, I don't know why Fawn Hollow came, Jockey Hollow, yeah, you have a station there, right? It did recommend long-term looking at Stevenson Fire, Station number 1 as a potential reduction, but it didn't necessarily get into a lot of the granular details around, station reconfiguration, expansion needs, et cetera, which is why we have the separate project for Shelton, Station,
Okay, so this is not a subset of that larger study or portion of it. This is something,
now, I would say
focus
it's
as well.
it's kind of I think, a follow-up to say if we're gonna proceed with some of those recommendations, we need to evaluation on.
Okay, so then this is a launch from that first study then, going further. Okay.
One of the aspects of that study, yes.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
All right,
Right.
I think that's it. Thank you. So the vehicle meeting will not be immediate. But we will see you over the next couple, probably in a month or so. Yeah, and we'll have a SBC meeting, invite everybody, try to find a convenient time and talk about it then, okay? Thank you. You're not on my list. You're not on my, thank you.
I'm not getting out of the vehicle meeting, right?
All right.
Right.
Board of Education.
Thank you.
Sorry for the delay. All right.
Learned a lot about fire safety. So the Board of Ed stuff is all the very beginning of the packages.
All right.
Somehow Ron made it.
I don't have that.
Happen.
Okay.
You guys know, everybody knows Paul.
Yes, of course.
Only by reputation.
Who wouldn't know? Dave, I just wanna make sure everyone's, fans are. I taught him a few things.
All right. Why don't we start with information technology? We'll go first. All right. So I did have a couple questions. One is, so we're doing out of the capital reserve $50,000, and it looks like it's part of it'll be every year for the next 5 years, right? So how many laptops are we replacing, and for that amount of money? And how old are these laptops that the teachers that we're replacing?
So, kind of a moving target right now. Supply chain issues, chip shortage. Roughly, don't hold me to this number,
Okay.
but about $1,000 per unit.
About 50. And how many laptops do we have in current service for this item? So it says teacher, but maybe staff use it, or just teacher?
It's primarily teacher.
Okay. And what's the, how many are there?
Are at various stages. So the idea here
How old are they?
that we will review 8 years.
Might be time for those.
And they will be on their useful life.
Anything on teacher laptops, Dee Dee? No? Ellen?
Workshops, like you did
Which workshops?
Probably not,
Lab.
probably not, 'cause everybody knows.
You mean like in service?
Yeah, like workshops.
Our help desk is very responsive. So if somebody has a question about how to use the technology, or probably just-in-time professional development. Yeah, exactly.
Donaldin, anything on, teacher laptop replacement?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Next I had a question about the lab office desktop replacement. So if every teacher has a laptop, what are we using the desktops for? Just lab locations, or?
Actually a combination. So we have apps that were, those are specialized labs, which we did. However, all of the school office or sector, there are certain staff laptops that are non-certified. They use the average age of those are probably pushing.
Those are a little bit easier to kind of replace. So, all right, nobody's double dipping, right? He has a laptop and desktop. And so about how many, about like different price? Is the goal 30 or around there?
Yeah, so about 500 per desktop.
Okay.
One of the things that we have to do too is, besides the actual computer, there's definitely getting backlinks primarily. Stretch the life of a lot of these devices. Per account, that we spend the life, we've state hard drives, we've got memory. This wouldn't be, again, these numbers aren't a total replacement. Again, is to go for a roving replacement, so that you have full laptops.
Right. And kind of fun to hit a little bit. Replace what you have to now, and then you do a few more, and eventually take a replacement. BD, anything?
On the desktop replacements, so that whole package, if you will, that,
Donaldin?
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that the laptop and the desktops, the price comes with the necessary software as well?
Yes.
Okay. So the other one I had a question for IT was the Chromebooks. Was this, kids hit a certain age, they get a Chromebook, and that's just really allotment, or is this replacement?
Starting next year, definitely grades 3. There is a defined life cycle. 5 years. Sometimes they'll stretch them out. The devices will continue to be. The problem we run into is back and browser on these. Google knows the version. Years.
Why don't you buy a new laptop?
Well, they do. Some of the things, besides that and the money grab,
Yeah.
newer hardware, newer features, software that won't on typically those devices now that are, you know,
Dee Dee? Donaldin?
No thanks, almost.
Any other questions for the IT portion of Board of Education? IT, Board of Education, anything? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so why don't we move on to Massac. We have stage replacement, which is, being paid for by a grant or other. I have any question for that. Parking lot.
that's actually Board of Ed Capital Reserve, but that's.
Oh, it's capital reserve, okay. All right.
John, could you say that again? The stage floor replacement, is that under capital reserve now?
It's
under
capital
the grants
reserve.
other? Okay, that was a,
Okay.
The
Okay.
Board of Ed Capital Reserve.
yeah, but it's under the column here on budget grants other, okay.
Out of curiosity, why is that, it is under the, just out of
Yeah, they have a
curiosity,
funding source, so.
on the building committee, it seems
2003, so it's almost 20 years old.
Thank you, Joe.
Sorry.
That's like yesterday.
I was 11.
You were what?
Well,
Never mind.
what, 2003? I was 11.
Appreciate it.
Oh,
it's 14.
2 years old.
All right, I'm sorry I brought it up. Is it dangerous? I mean,
Yeah.
it is?
Parking lot. What's going on in the Massac parking lot? I'm not talking about what the students are doing.
Yeah. The backside of the gym area.
Okay.
Full hours, so I'm very unsafe. That section is used going in and out for, classes during the day. It's staff parking, athletic parking after school for coaches. It's fire egress for a fire drill for that area of the building.
Do you remember when the last time it was? Okay.
Stop.
All right.
You were 12. The work that was done in the back with the, all the testing that, oil tank, does that have anything to do with the degradation?
I don't think so.
It's the hot heaving, you get a lot of water, the water's right off the.
Donaldin, anything on, parking lot for Massac?
Yep, nope, I'm good.
Pool filtration system. I see these, notices online through the Parks and Recreation Department about the pool being closed. Is this, what would it address that?
This is due to that.
Okay.
It was already on this, prior to that repair.
Yeah.
The same thing, you know, Massac's renovation, so out of the lifespan. So same with the pool filter. 20 years old, every last tank. Currently showing stress. Some of those were leaking. Very minor, but
that glue was that, brick break that you were, so it's 20 years old, it's just out of its life.
And if I can
Go ahead.
add for something too with COVID, we want to open parties and getting Parks and Rec in there. Now, so this revenue coming in again, so, you know.
Donaldin? Okay. We'll move on to Jockey Hollow, just one item, HVAC system. What's going on?
So the bike hall,
Yeah.
heating system in Jockey Hollow is antifreeze,
Yeah.
come through the system. So, same, I was built in 98.
Mm-hmm.
I have a current repair, that item actually got moved up in the capital. Repair that's gonna cause about 2 years. I moved it up, since I have to do that repair and drain. Those two projects
You
together.
said 98?
Well, 98 is when Jockey Hollow was built.
You were 4.
So,
6.
yeah.
See anything? Are the kids getting heat? Donaldin, anything?
No, nothing for me.
Stephanie, gym floor.
So,
To both on how.
Yeah, well,
probably just got me and Fawn House together.
yeah, we,
Same floor that was done at the same time. So both of those floors were done in, so they're very old.
not alive.
They're a poured urethane rubber floor in the elementary school. 20 to 25 years, they're old. The one at Stephanie Elementary. City comes up, it separates the rubber urethane from the floor, you'll get bubbling, trip hazards for the kids. Balls don't bounce in those areas. One hollow, I put it on here, not in as bad shape, done in the same year, same material, same company. Cost efficient to have, both done at the same time, whoever's gonna be doing the one happening, they're right there, you know. So many different types of.
Did have about the replacement of the floor. I guess it would go to the stage too. There aren't, I guess for the stage, kind of arts grants that might help with that, or in reference to the gym floor, any type of health and safety, anything like that? Walk-in freezer?
So the walk-in refrigerator.
How old is
That's
it?
Fawn Hollow, right? Very old. It's a 68. Had many repairs over its lifetime. Threw off the walls of the down. So you don't have, thermal protection all the way around it. It's very inefficient. Been repaired 1,000 times, and because of that, summer and the hotter weather, condensation on the outside wall in the hallway. down the wall, into the hall. So,
No.
and it's right, I mean, it's, so you probably see with that.
Replace it with the same,
It has to be sized for the fit of the building, so it'll probably be the same size. What they will do is mount the condenser and compressor unit up on the roof rather than in a back mechanical room where it's trying to get air in. Probably the only design change that will go up on the roof, but,
it's 8 by 12, is that the size?
it's about 8 foot wide and 12 foot deep. With shelving.
Colin, anything for the individual schools?
No, nothing, thanks.
Vehicles and equipment, we have a F-350 pickup truck with plow and sander, and then an attachment for snow removal.
On the pickup truck, it's gonna be replacing, it's a 2005. A lot of money on that particular item for repairs, more than we should. Hopefully, getting the vehicle. Repair line can be more reliable, help. A lot of work constantly.
Coordination with the Department of Public Works.
There is, so, there's a snow plow protocol, plan. There's no app yet. There's a breakdown, if I don't have a part to fix it and they do, and if they fix, they'll loan us a truck, so there are plans in place.
This attachment would be used on a different vehicle?
So the attachment on here is for it's kind of like a tractor. It's a piece of landscaping that you can do various jobs with, depending on what attachments you use. This Ventrac was bought, I think, 2 years ago. $30,000 machine, so purchased with a mower deck. So we're currently using it at Massic to grass. So after grass season's over, up and stored. So we'd like to put have a blower attached, snow blower attachment, that we're getting 12 months out of her, rather than 7. Jockey Hollow and Fawn Hollow being on the campus together, having that large piece of snow will be a lot more efficient. Currently, you're calling multiple guys in to use smaller pieces of equipment, levels. Possibility of having a work claim or whatever it may be. What we already invested in.
Trek is what we had purchased for Parks and Rec, use, a few years back. Do a variety of things around the parks, but it was also strategically bought to, make snow faster at Town Hall and the only unit that can really help. It's certainly not, unusual.
A lot of times you do see people with personal John Deere tractors, and they have their own attachment driveways.
The nice thing is, when we have a piece of equipment like, so, you know, the person who runs that will run it. Now, after an 8-inch snowstorm, basically, prior to that, you, call your crew in, you have a 4-hour gap or 2 hours, depending on what type of guys come in to move that snow, so less of a, you know, opportunity for me to, sorry, we're gonna need to go.
Anything?
No, I'm good.
Anything else? Okay. Donna Lynn?
Just one clarification, because it cut out. I think I understood the Ventrac attachment. The town purchased one about, in the last few years? And I think by getting this attachment for snow removal, now that Ventrac would be used like 12 months out of the year, right? Is that?
Yeah, it'll be, so it's currently cutting grass, and they're gonna use it for
Good.
snow removal.
Okay. Okay. That, it cut out on me on that one, and I think that's what my understanding was, given the okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you're gonna move. Yeah, exactly, so there's a garage at Jockey Hollow we can utilize. Turn it around after the cutting season's over, put on the.
Everything. Great, well, thank you very much. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thank you. Oh, you get to stay.
Yeah, I got one.
You get to stay.
Let me turn on my count.
There.
Go back to your bed.
All right. IT.
Is it a nicer face or a different, how is it different?
Starts
It's the same.
I got it.
Listen, Dee Dee, this is my only asset. It's what we got here. It's as good as it's gonna get.
This is a quick one for me, because I don't have any questions. Dee Dee, do you have any questions? Me too.
What sort of event time?
Smaller items, yeah.
Yeah.
Loud?
Well, no, so in this case,
Yeah.
a virtual server, in the old days, probably before your time. Yeah, just, there were, you know, the thinking was if you had a, application, a server. So if you had a financial application, you had a tax assessor software, you had a separate server. Technology has gotten so good now that we actually virtualize these physical machines, combine them into one physical, have 3, possibly even 4 separate servers run on a virtual environment.
I understand, it's literally, you can have multiple instances, one physical machine, all running its own operating.
Correct.
So they really are separate machines, but they're not.
Right. Physically, it's one machine. Logically, it could be multiple machines.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and, you know, part of the benefit to that too is, better management. Now, instead of having to look at 4 separate servers, I can now look at one and going to be using less electricity, also less cooling.
I used a wood chipper.
Wood, right?
Yeah,
Oh, that's Public Works. They're looking at buying a wood chipper.
I know what they're looking for.
So.
Trying to see where you were going with that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Paul, you haven't been doing as good of a job as you thought.
Donna Lynn, anything from you? IT for town side?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, and the wood chipper's
But
fine.
now I want a wood chipper.
Well, I don't wanna see it in the
And
capital project.
even Dee Dee remembers that, see?
I remember that.
I remember it too, I just wasn't sure what that had to do
What
with
it has to
virtual
do.
servers, but
I wanna make sure I don't ever see it anywhere near my.
You're free.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Paul.
Paul.
All right, let's see what we're gonna do. We are waiting on
We could,
senior services.
Kim is on her way.
I was gonna say, I could just call her.
She's on her way. She should be here momentarily, but if you want, go to DPW. DPW is ready as well.
Oh.
It's up to you, Mr. Chair.
So, I'd feel bad since you might be here a while.
That's never good.
Well, no, you have a lot of projects, so senior centers, I feel bad if Kim were to walk in and she's stuck here for, a half hour and we can just get her in and out.
We could always come to a break and work him in and.
Oh, yeah, I guess we can do that. You know what, why don't we start? We'll start and kind of move them through. All right, Public Works.
So that starts on. So, I mean, just to be clear, the first two items in the capital budget are ongoing improvement programs, This year, it would be one. Ten, right? I was gonna say. So the first form is for a body replacement of. Correct. Go ahead. It's on page 39.
It stated the first, item would be the replacement body on one of our 6. Getting to that offsets the costing of the other item. Capital plan, funding, are different. Now, they're past the 10-year mark. Body replacement will extend the useful life of the truck, but it's worthy of buying on it. And obviously target, while other departments have the ability. Right now it's a frontline truck. That with, the purchase is coming, tell us to have it as a spare, so we'll be probably looking anywhere. Any other type of electrical and harness issue? Our power plant is in good shape.
Is there anything in Public Works that you Well, Vice Chair Lapellis did bring up the wood chipper, so, we need a new wood chipper. Good one? Does it chip wood? Okay.
It will, yes.
Gotcha. All right. What's our current one? How old is it?
Our current wood chipper is, 26 years.
How long do they normally last?
20, yeah.
Oh,
So like,
well, you get a bonus 5 years there.
That good guy working on it, that's why.
Good.
We rebuilt quite a few times.
All right. Colin, any, item want to discuss?
No, I think most of these I already knew about.
and then Ken, so we have the Monroe Fire Station 1 here in Public Works. Then project scope and design development with your, presentation, budget presentation. This was,
Yep.
this is a new item this year.
Yep, and this is page 37. Have, we're really looking to do, things. One is a little bit more, efficient, for a lot of the smaller efforts that need to be done in works where there's a small amount of design work that needs to be completed. It could be stairs, it could be over, it could be guardrail, but it's gotta be, there's gotta be. Sometimes we just need, and, you know, for whatever reason, we may not have an in-house, asset to utilize for whatever reason. Allow us to be able to go to an, you know, services that we could tap into to, design, some of these things out. The other aspect is for larger efforts where we tend to identify projects, we put them on the capital plan, but the number that we put in for capital is typically bonding. Really, it's a high level, it's a really, really high level guess at that point as to what that project's gonna cost, right? Look at this process and get buy-in based on that number. And as we all know, a lot can change, and really need to be doing more upfront design work, not necessarily to the level of where you have bid documents ready, but at least scope and a preliminary design, so you can really get a sense as to what this project really is going to be. Get a professional cost estimate at that point, which allows us to be a little bit more thoughtful and in how we then program these capital projects in the future. Furthermore, more and more grants are requiring some level of design, if not full project-ready, shovel-ready status, just to be eligible to apply for the grant, let alone getting the grant. So the more resources and funding that we can put in the upfront portion of all this will, I think, get the town money by being eligible for more grants, and we can also, kind of be a little bit more efficient in keeping these projects moving forward down the road and not getting, kind of having things out there without a design. So this would be something that we could, again, utilize to just use an on-call service to, which not recently high level for drive culvert replacement. Have others like that, right? So to be able to accelerate some of that kind of, to get our arms around it, we have small bridges around town that are town. There may be the opportunity in the federal infrastructure bill to possibly get money for that. It's all an unknown at this point. These are bridges that don't qualify for other bridge programs. We have to have some kind of design done if we're going to move this forward. We need to do some kind of design just to be able to prioritize that and move it and get it into a. We do not have plenty of projects that could benefit from this kind of. Yeah, the intent would be to start it this way, and then here as evaluate how's it going. Do we want to, subsequent year, do we want to put more in? Are we okay? Do we want, just with having a scope and design development reserve fund allows us to be more effective. happy to,
Office, or would it?
ultimately, it's, you know, yeah, I mean, so, I mean, any of the services we would utilize from that, probably be a professional service. That scope is, any, you know, evaluating would have to be known, identified by Public Works as any, certainly larger effort. It's something that we've got this big issue, and I mean, like anything else, I mean, it's gonna have, those will all have to go through the process, but, doing it in this fashion versus having it in the Public Works operating expense allows these funds to be non-lapsable. If we don't use $250,000 next year, it'll be there. Right, we'll be there, and we'll continue to, and if we want to punish it, we have that option.
Cost incentive, so, add to this every?
I think we should, I think every year we should evaluate it, how we did against that, and, you know, and as a side, I'm not necessarily suggesting it would be the same level every year, right? This,
No,
Donaldin, anything? Public Works?
Nope, thank you.
All right. Ready to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Kim. How are you? I won't make you talk long, I promise.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
thanks, guys.
She's forced that she was yelling at me earlier.
I'll find that hard to get.
Are you telling me that the senior center has to be power washed and painted? Okay.
The other question?
You can stay. Just keep. Oh well. So we have someone virtually, and I feel bad about saying this, but you kind of got to keep. You can come up. Is it close to us if you want, or just keep your voice up, whatever you want. Okay. All right. So what's going on? What page do we?
We have these.
Power washing.
Oh, yeah.
I got,
27.
if I were a senior, I'd help.
He noticed theirs, it's been 18.
And how long? Is it painted? Oh.
Well, that's clean.
Not quite as old as school.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Oh, so.
Is there anything we should know?
One of the reasons that I put the proposal in was the fact that the building is showing its age. Custodian last year, due to COVID, tried to stay in the building, and you can definitely see the discrepancy in the 18-year-old paint versus it's actually a stain. He did. He really tried hard, but the upper levels haven't been cleaned, haven't been painted. We're starting to get wood showing through in several spots. After going to the capital project meeting that Ken hosted with Phil, I learned a lot about what to do. I contacted Chris Nowacki from Public Works to find out who we have as far as painting contractors that are in the queue of the people who are vetted out to be vendors or however it works. I might be saying it wrong. I contacted one gentleman after 3 phone calls, never got back to me. I contacted the second gentleman. He came out, gave me a quote, because I don't know what to put in the budget unless I have an idea. and he is talking about power washing the entire center, the SIP and pavilion, and the center, as you may know, people forget that there is a second story that has to be done as well. Got a bunch of different peaks up there. So he's gonna power wash everything, stain everything, and he's also gonna do the SIP and pavilion, really look and run down, as the seniors use that in summer. And then one of the program rooms, we have a lot of nails coming through the walls and everything. And he's going to, in the quote, he also put that in there, to repair the walls and paint that room as well. When he presented the quote, I almost fainted, because I thought that was very, very reasonable, $22,000. Some lady was telling me she just paid $6,000 to have her deck done. And this is gonna be power washing the whole building, painting the whole building, colors that we have, doing the pavilion and the room. Coming through, it just makes a lot of sense, because we don't do this now. Next year, I'm gonna be coming back saying, I've got water running in because I got, rot from the wood. I think it's just that preventive maintenance, and, I've asked directors before me, have mentioned that this job should have been done, and one of the things that I think.
Anything?
Roof on the center,
That roof repair is done.
That's on my head,
No, we haven't had any issues with it.
well, that's good.
Donaldin, anything?
No, all good, thank you.
All right, thank you, Ken. That's it.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
calling this thing before?
You did. It rang and it rang and it rang.
Oh, geez.
And I sent her a text, but, she's not here yet.
Right, you wanna take it?
Aha!
Timing is everything.
You don't need it.
Oh,
We don't
look
need
at
this
that.
stuff, we need
It's
you.
only 7:30. Schedule said 9.
PW leasing.
Did your kid win? It was her banquet. Oh, I got a trophy.
Julie, what do you say?
Nice.
All right, any pages? 29?
Oh, yeah, sorry, 29 is what you're.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
The seniors.
Oh, yeah, I'll be power washing this. Nini,
John, what topic are you on
anybody
now?
on March 19th?
What?
I'm gonna go.
I'm not sure, I'll talk to Pat tomorrow.
I'm sorry, Donaldin, what did you say?
What topic are you on now?
Bye-bye.
Parks and Recreation.
Okay.
Should be, 201 in the, presented budget.
Yep, I've got it, yep. Mhm.
I was gonna have to. Only prepared for the water wheel.
Is that like a children's plaything?
Yeah.
No,
Not what you think, no.
Oh, it's for crabs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The water,
Ah, all right.
the current water wheel is only.
How much is that? You can't away from the computer, they're going to the grass is looking.
I don't know.
Boy.
Hold up. I don't.
son, Steve? Having fun?
How you're going.
John, are you still there?
Yeah, we're here, Donald. We're just waiting for,
We're waiting for Park and Rec.
Missy. Yeah.
Okay.
She just got in. She was on the schedule for 8:30. We had to call her to duty a little bit early. That means we all get out a little early, so. We're just gonna give her a
Yeah, so I
couple
wanna
of,
By cutting out, I just want to be certain that it's not fully gone.
Yeah, okay.
here.
Sorry,
Come on down.
that's what happened. The notebook fell, I swear to God, second year in a row.
Grab a seat if you want. Donald.
You guys letting me go late, I went to my daughter's banquet, thank you.
Well, thank you for coming early.
Oh, yeah.
Donna Lynn is on the phone with us.
Hi, Donna.
Hi.
All right, so you're last on our list. There are only 4 projects, so I know Bill was excited to talk about the water wheel, but I'm gonna ask, Missy, since she's here, can you talk about the water wheel?
Wow.
So, the current water wheel that you might see at Wolf Park is very ancient, 20-plus years old, and it's on its last leg, even though it's a wheel. And it plugs into the various hoses that attach, what?
How old?
About 20 years old. So Russ Tice, our park maintenance supervisor, did some research for me so that we could get a updated new water wheel to keep the lawns of Wolf Park green, because sometimes the water wheel doesn't sprout the way it does. It's very antiquated. So I'm hoping we could get a new one this time around so we can keep the lawn nice and green at Wolf Park, all the areas we cover.
And about how much will this?
Well, it's a portable wheel.
Oh, okay.
So let's say
Nice.
Monday, we're doing the football field area. Tuesday, we're doing by Wolf Park 4 in the junior soccer A, that kind of stuff. We do have full irrigation at the lake fields at Great Hollow, so that's not an issue. So this water wheel is for the pool side of the park.
Oh, I've seen that before. Is that what that is?
Yes, yep.
Oh, okay.
I'm good, Jen.
Nothing on the water wheel?
Nope.
All right. Mower, flail.
So it's a larger mower.
I just interrupted.
Oh, sorry.
So,
Sorry.
This is another Ventrek attachment, correct?
The flail mower 60?
Yeah, it's the attachment to go onto the current.
We were talking about a Ventrek earlier,
Okay.
so I just want to connect that. So, this is for our existing Ventrek, this is a different kind of mower attachment,
So,
and other areas.
All right, so it's an attachment, all right.
yeah, it goes onto our current, and it's a larger mower that gets to the angles. So like if you've been, especially Webb Mountain, there's curves and trails that we still have to maintain and cover when we have the visitors. Plus it helps on the main trails at Wolf Park. If you ever see the guys, sometimes they're weed whacking or mowing sideways. Here, this is a safer version that can attach it to our current mower and kind of, almost like this, believe it or not, like go that side and then come back that side. I know I'm a visual person, sorry. We have the Ventrac.
The front end attachment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, these
Not
are
like
all,
a tractor that you
these
can
are all
go
like plug and
mower
play,
deck
different
on the
pieces of attachments to that. Basically just, it's got an angle that the regular mower that they use for the field doesn't.
Right. And this would be, right,
Can't do this with the existing.
right, and this is mostly for all the trails we cover and Web Mountain, so it's a little different. But it's an attachment like he said.
Correct me if I'm wrong, it's similar to what highway uses from an angle.
All these, it's smaller because it's a ride-on. You know, the guys are in the cab of it. Has a joystick to control it, stuff like that. So it's efficiency too, instead of having 2 or 3 guys out there with weed whackers, I could put one person in there and send the other guys to the other areas of the park to maintain. So using the people wisely.
Attachment? All right. Donaldin, anything on the flail mower attachment?
Nope, that's clear.
All right. Ball field groomer.
So, as you know, we have 7 ball fields, and especially the ones up at the lake, they're interchangeable between soccer and lacrosse, and this tool is going to help with leveling the lips towards, if you're familiar, you know, you have second base, shortstop, and all that, so there's the lips of the grass. Plus, this also helps when they put home plate in, and just keeps everything kind of level and safe. And that's the thing, I can't have divots, can't have holes when all the children, the adults that play in the league, and it's efficiency. I could put one person on this and send the other 3 guys at different parts of the park, because we are just busting. Programs have grown, and participation, and the park is really busy, and we have to maintain it. So this tool is going to help with the 7 fields.
Is this another?
It's not an
It's not an attachment.
no,
It's its own
it's
separate.
its own separate thing that I could put a specific guy on it and do its thing.
They don't have an attachment. See anything? Donaldin, ball groomer.
Nope, all fine.
Toro.
Actually, it can. We're going to use it too a little bit, sorry. The beach, it can help groom the beach too.
Donaldin, anything?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Toro 4000D mower.
So this is a larger mower. I have pictures of Groundmaster mower, and it's lower to the ground, so it helps with the wider parts of the big football field, the outfield of Field 4, the main part of the lake fields. And again, it's efficiency, and it's a newer product. And, you know, a lot of our tools and equipment are starting to age, so that's why I'm looking to add this to our fleet of stuff.
Is it replacing?
Replacement, right?
Well, I'm hoping to phase out something that is very old, and we duct tape it sometimes, and I worry that it's a safety hazard for the guys, so I'd like to replace it.
What's the life?
This is also used in all the town grounds.
Yes,
right?
yes. This would be put on a truck, correct. Thank you for reminding me, Ken,
More than just all town facilities.
that we mow.
We do this.
We do the senior center, we do the firemen's,
Society
Yep.
is actually town property.
Yep.
and all that.
right here, the town green, Stepney Green we're in charge of. So this will go on the back of a truck when it's their day to, like, for example, Tuesday's a big mowing day around here. They'll start one end and do their whole circuit, so it's not just a Wolf Park, product.
Why does Park and Rec do the green?
So the field that is between 11 and Fan. All is owned by the town.
Life cycle?
Of this,
Yeah.
probably 10 to 12 years. But if we take care of it like the other one that we used for over 25 years, my guys are good at tinkering, so.
Buy some extra duct tape.
Okay, I could put that in next year's budget, okay?
Donaldin, anything?
No, nothing, thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. You stole my schedule. Good. Stole my. All right. So we are. Well, the members are not done yet. I am going to make a motion to recommend, fiscal year 2022-2023 proposed capital budget to town council, with the recommendation, with the additional recommendation that, the town's, fire departments meet with the strategic plan committee regarding vehicle replacements. A future meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
So you're just proposing,
No, so what the motion is, I'm recommending the capital project as capital, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Proposed capital budget be recommended to town council for adoption with the additional requirement that we have a meeting with fire departments regarding, vehicle replacement program.
I just clarify, and that is with the size number for the
Yes, with the revised number.
talk about it, but, they got a price, they have a $275.
$282,
280.
so the $275. All right, well, what I'll ask is, I'm not gonna withdraw my motion. I'm going to ask if, Ms. Martin and Ms. Bales will consent to adopting that into the, rather than making another one. Donaldin, that's fine with you?
Fine.
All right, so with those two,
Sorry, there's
one, okay, a third one?
Well, then Heidi reminded me of, so, under Public Works,
Okay,
parking lot transition area
yep,
for $80,000 under grants other,
yeah,
that is actually redundant, that is already an approved project in the current fiscal year, it was inadvertently, that is already,
crossing that one
has already
out.
been appropriated, authorized and appropriated, so it does not need to be in the fiscal.
curiosity, where's the
So,
is that the
so you know
overflow
that, no, so you'll know how we paved the, vast majority of the parking lot at Will Park. There's an area as you're walking, where the pool is, like where, so.
Oh, I know where you mean,
yeah.
we talked about this in
Yes.
Park and Rec.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I
So
got
it's the whole area, well, for, just so that everyone else knows, there's an area where you go to where the, they keep their equipment in the garage area, as you're kind of walking up towards the tennis court. That area was not paved because there is underground drainage work that needs to be done. The duration of which access point for the field project was still under debate, so we didn't wanna, the last thing we wanna do is move forward on that until we had a lot of the answers. We would. That's why that area isn't paved yet. Some other ancillary things that we wanna do there, such as putting up, part of that project involves putting up a very low cost, fence or some other kind of barriers so that we eliminate some of the pedestrian traffic in that area, given that there's access and the issue that we need to do is.
That's it? All right, so we have a motion on the table. The motion is to recommend proposed capital budget as presented, with the three changes listed here tonight, with the addition of a requirement to bring in fire departments to speak about their vehicle replacement program. All right? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, please say nay. This passes All right. It is 7:46, and we will adjourn at 7:46 this evening, everyone.
Okay, well, I didn't know.
Guys, everybody have a good evening. See you later.
Thank you, Donna Lynn.
Bye-bye, Donna.
Bye-bye.